Hi, welcome to another Power Blast podcast. Are you struggling now that the seasons have changed and you're just trying to find that motivation to exercise? Well, I've got 17 ways how to stay motivated to exercise this winter. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Perry Tinsley here, creator of the Power Blast podcast and owner of PutYourselfFirst.com. And are you struggling with workout motivation or fitness motivation now that the days are shorter, the nights are longer, it's cold, the seasons have changed, and there's just no motivation? Well, if you're on the video right now, you're seeing me in my winter jacket. It's just so easy to just want to stay cozy and warm in your bed and not get up and do anything. It's just let me sleep and hibernate. Well, let's talk about some tips that you can use to push through it, to get motivated. All right, this jacket's got to come off. It's just one of those times, I think, for many, many people where we have great intentions to push ourselves through as the seasons change. We set big goals. We want to finish the year strong. We want to head into the new year really strong as well. And we get these great goals, and then we kind of get into this little funk where it just becomes hard. We talk ourselves out of things, and it's hard to get up. And motivating yourself to exercise in general in the winter is really kind of a beast for many people. And you've got that active lifestyle where it's just challenging for that day-to-day motivation to do the training, and it sometimes builds up so much to where we're beating ourselves up and kind of getting on our own case, but still finding ourselves paralyzed to take action. And you just don't feel like your normal self, and you just lack that drive, lack that mojo. And, that's when those excuses start to slip in, and it becomes this vicious cycle that kind of destroys that momentum. And then it kills the drive to be active. And then once you do eventually get started again, it's just it can kind of feel self-defeating. And so I'm hoping that you'll use these ideas to boost your mood and to lift yourself up and to get yourself going, or either restarting or to continue that momentum of what it is that you're wanting to do. I'm going to give shout outs to Beth and to Rose and a few other friends that kind of inspired this podcast today, because they're part of our group, and that's one of the tips I'm going to give to you today. But they're part of our group, and they just said, you know what, to really push myself and take that daily action, it's a struggle this time of year. And so I thought, well, gosh, I'm going to go and do some research of sharing some things that have worked for me, but sharing things that have worked for other people to just push through this challenging time of year when it comes to exercise. And, I know some people are just like, hey, just do it. And while I think that can go a long way, that's true. You just want to do it. It's just easy to not do it too. So these are some tips that have worked for me or from other people. They're not all mine, but just a couple things that I've collected as I've done some research. Now, one of the things was to create some heat, and that's just to adjust your thermostat to warm up your house, warm up your bedroom just before your alarm goes off, so that it's not like you're in a warm, cozy bed and then getting up is going to be so freezing cold that you just want to jump back in. And so just make that a little setting, especially if you're going to work out in the morning. Now, if you're working out in the afternoon, that might be a different thing. This is another thing I thought was intriguing, was to recreate early sunlight. We typically don't get that. A lot of the sunlight isn't showing up until much later in the morning than we're used to. But you can invest in like a bedside lamp that simulates natural daylight, and I think it just gradually comes on. You'll have to go in and Google like a bedside daylight simulator or daylight lamp. There's a lot of varieties out there. But if that's one of the things that you're just struggling with, I know for me, I will look up at the window, it's still dark. I'm like, man, it's not time to get up yet. But if you could have some of that light coming in and going on, that really intrigued me. Another one is just to kind of fire up your alarm. I know a lot of times, we have the alarm set to like a beep or maybe just a light radio station or something like that. But if you just fire it up with just some upbeat music, it doesn't have to be like major workout cardio or something like that, but something that's upbeat and uplifting to you, that can be kind of a motivating charge for you. A lot of these tips have to do with just getting up and getting going. I know a lot of people that I coach, we're getting our workouts done early in the morning, so that's where that motivation is. But I'll tell you what, even in the evening, as the sun's setting earlier and you get that darkness, it's easy to just want to settle in, especially after a long day. So some of these will work for you that way. But to tune your alarm up. One thing that I do, and this, I don't know if it's just a Perry thing or if it's others, I use the pre-workout drink from Beachbody called Energize, and that always pumps me up. Sometimes I'll take a little bit of it, just a little partial scoop to kickstart my morning, and a little bit more just as I'm about ready to work out. But that stuff has kind of a nice little zing to it that it's not a weird caffeinated sort of thing, but it really charges you up to go, man, I'm ready. I got to get going. Let's go do this. It's kind of that effect. So that's kind of an easy, thing to do, but you still have to get from getting out of bed to wherever you have that pre-workout drink. Another one is to find a friend. And that's, someone that's going to commit to you, whether it's going out and taking morning walks or getting your workout done. Somebody that's going to help hold you accountable while you help hold them accountable. And, and compliment the heck out of that person and do that, make a little contract with each other, like no whining, no complaining, like, oh, I don't feel like working out, I don't feel like doing this, and letting each other off the hook. Just say, you know what, let's do this. You look awesome today. You look fired up. Thanks for pumping me up. That's a great way to get rid of the complaining, and that uplifts you, gives you uplifting comments, and it's kind of makes you feel good on the inside. The other thing with friends, and this is one of the things that we've been doing, we're running these virtual groups. We use an app or we'll use a Facebook group to check in each day and motivate each other with encouraging words, with thumbs up, with motivating quotes, positive mindset sort of thing, to create a really good community, a positive, uplifting community and environment for people to really stay motivated and engaged. And that's why I love it. It's working out with not just one friend, but a bunch of people all across the United States, Canada, UK, and the world. So that's another great thing to do. So if you want to be a part of one of our groups, just message me or email me, perrytinsley@gmail.com, and say, I want in. And we could talk more about that. Another tip, this is not my thing, but I've heard it's worked for a lot of people, is just to get up and shower right away. Now, I know that might sound counterproductive especially if you're going to go and work out, but just that water supposedly just wakes you up, and getting into your fitness gear right away, or even just, if it's not the water, maybe it's just getting dressed. Another tip is to dress in your workout gear, the night before, and sleep in it, and then wake up or have your clothes ready to go. But doing the shower thing, that can definitely work. Another one is just I think a lot of times people really overthink things, especially as we get to Christmas, gift giving sort of things. People feeling like they gotta go and buy a bunch of high Zooks equipment or treadmill or whatever, and think that's the thing that's going to motivate them. And then I've seen a lot of people end up having equipment that becomes elaborate coat hangers over the years. It's got to be you that motivates you. It's not the equipment. It's not the thing. But if you keep it crazy simple, super simple, KISS, keep it super simple or whatever they call it, it helps you overcome the excuses and the laziness. For me, and my next tip is to follow a workout calendar. But keeping it simple, it's just like, I'm going to get up, I'm going to do this thing. I use Beachbody On Demand workouts, and I'm following this program. So I just wake up, look to find out what's the workout today, get my equipment out and go, and not have to overthink, what do I feel like today? What am I going to get motivated to do today? And when you start to do that, you start to get into the excuse mode. But if you just get up and say, I get to do this today. This is what I'm going to do today. I'm just showing up, and this is what the trainer's telling me to do. Bam, that's what worked for me. Just tell me what to do, and I'll do it. And that keeps it simple. Doesn't make the workouts necessarily simple, but it keeps the from overthinking what it is that you're going to do and taking you out of the game. So the next tip is following a workout calendar. Seeing the big picture of what you're striving for over the next 60, 90 days. Maybe make a 12-week calendar for January, February, and March of what you're going to accomplish and what you're going to do. I know for me, I'm going to follow an 80-day workout program called 80-Day Obsession. It's actually 13 weeks. It'll be 90 days when you factor in all the rest days. But it's going to be show up, find out what the workout of the day is, and just do it. But my goals are to be able to just show up one day at a time, and seeing the big picture that I'm going to feel great by the time March comes and by the time spring comes, and not feel like I just kept pushing it off, and then all of a sudden I went into this cycle backwards, So following a calendar. As a matter of fact, one of the things, I'll tell you about that tip in a little bit here. The next thing I think has worked well for a lot of people is to just set a goal for, maybe it's running a 5K or running a marathon, or maybe it's going on vacation or going on a cruise, or even like going and swimming at an indoor water park. A lot of times people will have those things on the calendar and go, you know what, I want to be in shape by the time I go to do that. And this always setting these 6-week, 9-week benchmarks to the next big event and getting in shape for that. I've known many people to do that. I've coached many people that have like, oh, I've got a wedding coming up, I've got a reunion coming up, and then they're all of a sudden they're just on this mission to get in shape. Even if you don't have like a vacation coming up, act as if. Or maybe book a time at our local water park and say, you know what, I'm going swimming, and I'm gonna be in my my swimming outfit. I'm gonna look good. I'm gonna get in shape for that. Just a thought, okay? Using mini goals, setting little mini goals along the way for rewards. Now, not to go out on big food binges or things like that, but one of the things that you might be able to do is just set those little benchmarks that, once I hit this goal, I'll be able to, maybe it's, I'm going to get a new workout outfit, or I'm going to get a new workout program, or I'm going to earn my next set of push-up bars, or not my next set, like you collect them or something, but I'm going off the top of my head. But just setting that benchmark of some sort of reward. Maybe it is clothing, maybe it's an outing somewhere. Maybe it's telling the kids, hey, if mom and dad get to this certain mark, we're all going to go to, let's say, the water park, or, some sort of event. So help coach us along. Creating your own challenge. That's a good one. For me, the challenge was, I know this might sound crazy, silly, but my challenge was I wanted to fill up a calendar with an X. X each day throughout a month. All I wanted to do is I'm going to show up every day and an X is going in that box. That was my challenge. Now, for some people, that might be, I want to make sure I do 25 out of 30 days, or I want to do 20 out of 30 days. For me, I wanted to do 30 out of 30 or 31 out of 30, because what I found was if I went and skipped stuff, I might skip other things, or I might justify, I'm going to do doubles and then never do doubles, or whatever it is. So that was my thing. I'm gonna go and see if I can log in and check in and do a check mark every single day on this calendar. I don't know, but creating your own challenge. Maybe it's a plank challenge, or maybe it's a squat challenge, or I know a lot of people right now are doing like push-up challenges. A shout out to Dave Eubanks for doing that there. Let's see. Another one might be just to think of winter. It's a little mindset thing, maybe a little trick that you have for yourself. Think of winter as training season. A lot of your big events, a lot of the things that you do are in the spring and the summer, probably in the summer for most of the events that you do outside. So a lot of times people really get distracted in the summertime. If you use the winter as your motivation for training, I'm doing this training, not just because, I need to fit in this, I need to, I don't know. I'm just getting in condition for the events I want to do in the summer. That may be all that you need to think about, is just getting yourself ready for those events. I don't know. Or make spring your fitness goal. I just want to be fantastic for the springtime, and make it a little bit shorter benchmark, because sometimes summer can seem so far off when it's in really super cold temperatures. Here's a thing that my friend did. This next tip is just to skinny clothes. Display skinny clothes or a skinny shirt or skinny jeans, and put them up. Hang them and display them where you'll see them, and make that as your goal. My friend Carol, way back when, there was this really cool, I think it was a raccoon t-shirt. She was in raccoon rehabilitation, and not rehabilitation, but rescue, a wildlife rescue. And she was on a mission to lose some weight, and she bought a shirt intentionally, like 1 or 2 sizes too small, but it was a shirt that she really, really, really wanted to proudly wear. Cool design. It was really fantastic. And she hung that up, and she's like, I am earning the right to wear that shirt. That might be a great motivation. I know sometimes people will do that with swimsuits and outfits and stuff like that. But, whatever your thing is, make it intentional and display it, and have it loud and proud that you're working out toward that. The other thing is it's to make fitness fun. Exercise and working out, a lot of times we just dread, right? We dread the activity, or we got sluggishness stuff. But if you find a fun workout program, for instance, like one I just got certified in, a mixed martial arts inspired workout called Core to Force, or PIO, or just something that's just a little bit off the grid from your typical calisthenic type of thing. Or maybe it's just yoga, that yoga is giving you that break and just allowing you to de-stress. Make fitness fun. Find a program that can be fun for you to do, or at least maybe seeming less boring to you. That may help yourself out. And here's another great tip I thought was great, is to break your workouts up throughout, how do I want to word that? Break your workouts up throughout the day. So, for instance, let's say 30 minutes is your goal, but really waking up and going, 30 minutes, I don't want to do that. Or an hour, let me sleep. How about 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, like around lunchtime, and 10 minutes in the evening? Break it up in little chunks like that. Yeah, is it the most ideal? Maybe not. But definitely something that you can do, and something that can, something at least to get you in motion throughout the day. My friend Carol there, the one that did was earning her shirt, raccoon shirt, that's all she did was 10-minute workouts. And then eventually she added on an additional 10, did 20, and eventually 30. But throughout the day, 3 10-minute workouts. We even have a program called 10-Minute Trainer, that perfectly portioned workout program that you can do. But, if you find one, let's say it's a 30-minute workout program, you do half in the morning, half in the evening, that's a great way to do it. So I guess the key here is to not beat yourself up over things. I know it's easier said than done, but and don't just put it off either. I have a lot of people that I'm coaching, and it's like, oh yeah, when the new year starts, and why they're putting this off until the new year when they want to do it now, I have no idea. That they're letting their brain get in the way again. Just take action and just go. Keep it simple. But if that's your thing, just don't beat yourself up over it. Start from where you're at and keep going. Because motivation, it really comes from within, and it isn't any one person or any thing or your environment or that's going to actually be the motivation. It's actually you. But doing some of those things can actually impact that motivation within you to do those things and to push through the winter. So just remember, set realistic goals for yourself and realistic expectations. Don't try to overthink it. Think about your why. Why is it that you want to achieve those goals? A lot of times people say, "Oh man, I want to get healthy and fit. I just want to lose weight and get toned." That might be the thing that they're saying. And I'm like, well, why? What's that going to enable you to do to lose 20 pounds, lose 50 pounds? What are the things that it's going to enable you to do, and what is the reason for it? So set realistic expectations. Find a buddy or a group like we've got there. Once again, you can email me or look me up on social and connect with me there. Follow an exercise plan. I know while any exercise is good exercise, if you follow a plan, at least you're making the most of your time, just showing up one day at a time, whether it's following a trainer at the gym, whether it's walking a certain route, whether it's following an app, or whether it's doing Beachbody on-demand workouts, okay? Eat healthy, food is fuel, right? And just have fun. That's the big thing about it. Once you're having fun, it seems to be in a flow. So I hope those tips helped you. That's all I have for this week. I really, really appreciate you for tuning in. If you think that these tips would be beneficial to somebody else, please pass this podcast on, Power Blast podcast, on to anybody that you know. And I'd really, really appreciate it. And if there's any of the ideas that you have here, or if you've got any new tips, please comment below or send me an email. And if you want to be a part of our group, perrytinsley@gmail.com is a great way to connect with me, and I will respond and help you out there and get you pointed in the right direction. And speaking of podcasts, I don't know if you knew this or not. A lot of you subscribe on the video version. There is an audio version also. So you can bring up your podcast app or bring up iTunes and just do a search for Power Blast Podcast. I think we're on Google Play too. Power Blast Podcast, just do a search for that and you'll have that. So you can listen in your car or listen as you're doing that morning jogger, maybe turning down your calisthenics for the morning or workout for the morning and just listening to an uplifting podcast. Anyway, I so appreciate you for subscribing, and thank you so much. And if you're in the iTunes store of the podcast, please give it an honest rating and review. That would so rock. I appreciate you, my friend. Remember, it's never too late. Merry Christmas to you. See you next week.